What's going on, guys? I'm Chris DiCola. I'm here at the wonderful Signal Flow Studios, and today we're going to do a breakdown of a song called Power by Coslin Wilde.
Times never help me heal my power.
So I met Coslin through Toby Raps. Back when Toby lived in Los Angeles, he lived with Coslin, real name Nico, right? So Nico has become a good friend of mine over the years. This was, I think, around 2020. So we've known each other for better part of a decade now. And what Nico used to do was pretty exclusively hip-hop. He was a rapper. He put out a lot of music as a rapper. And eventually he kind of decided that he wanted to encompass all different types of genres, which I think was a really cool decision for him because the dude's got a beautiful voice. He's great at writing songs on the guitar. He's got a lot going on outside of hip-hop that he can accomplish, right? So this is his first EP, the Coslin Wilde EP that dropped recently. It's available everywhere. Go check it out. This specific song, Power, we began working on a couple years before we got the rest of the songs for this EP in order. This was one that was originally just guitar. I think there was bass and some electric guitar. But we ended up having a drummer come in, Sam Marandino, who's an excellent drummer. I've had him on quite a few artists' recordings. I've recommended him as a session musician a number of times. We got him to come in and play the drums, and then we built around that too, added even more stuff. So this song, Power, it very much builds left to right. This whole thing is kind of building to a crescendo moment. So let's check it out just like that. I'm going to play it for you from pretty near the top here, get you a feel for each section and how we're making each section feel the way that it does. So the whole thing begins like this. This is actually an interesting one. I remember playing this because, let me put the click in for you. Not on the click. Until it is. Yeah, that was insanely difficult to do, actually. That was a real bitch to record. But once we got it, we knew that we had it, right? Just kind of playing outside the click, keeping in mind where things were supposed to come in, and then boom, coming in on the bar. I can't remember why we did it that way. I mean, nowadays I probably would be able to think of a better way to do that, but it all worked out. And Nico comes in with the vocals right there as soon as things snap on to the grid.
Power is something I struggle to feel.
Pretty stripped down. Just a little bit of verb going on there.
I'm not good at making them feel.
There's a very, very subtle layer going on underneath this, and I'm talking very subtle. Just something that kind of lifted the noise floor up a little bit, just so the guitar wasn't so naked by itself. It's one of these that you know I'm a fan of, right? Where you can't really even hear it, but it's helping. Check it out. I'm gonna boost that up for you so you can hear that. Distant, big reverby guitar, right? Let's go back to that original volume. Where'd it go? In context.
Never help me heal, but power.
You can just barely hear it linger in between those stops on the acoustic, right? Just barely.
Power.
That, to me, is a good example of foreshadowing, right? That, to me, is kind of making it clear that there is going to be this tension, this longing kind of feeling present in the song, in the production itself, you know? So as we go over here, we're about to bring the bass in.
The only thing that time will reveal. I'm broken, but I never.
Of course, it's ushered in by those cymbal washes, right? I'm gonna keep doing that.
Hoping it's a child of the sun. When I rise, I'll no longer be the form
Keep it rolling.
of someone. I made it as far.
So we're just hitting those cymbals and letting the bass kind of rock. The acoustic is pulling all the rhythmic weight here. Let's move a little bit further into this section to where things change up a bit.
For every time that I let someone take away all of my power, it's something
I love that bass is kind of walking throughout this whole section, and then once that kick hits, there's just that little rest there, and the bass is like, okay, no, I can be rhythmic too. I'm not just droning these notes out. I'm gonna join the groove.
Take away all of my power. It's something I struggle to feel.
Gets out of the way for that guitar stab right away too, because that's a new element that we've introduced. I call them spikes here, it looks like.
All of my power.
Super reverby. That's it. Just those.
'Cause I'm not good at making them
Yeah, you can
feel.
hear Sam on the drums getting a little bit busier, starting to do some fills.
'Cause I'm not good at making them feel. My power.
Here's my favorite one coming up.
Times never help me heal. My power.
I mean, it's just these drums were recorded in a very large room. They were, wood floors, very tall ceilings, probably 15 feet high, something like that. And we're using some room mics here, obviously. And I love what they're doing for this section, because when he's hitting those, it doesn't just feel like he's playing in a box, right? It feels like he's filling a room with his drum. Yeah, so those are those distant microphones. All right, so we've been kind of building things up for almost 2 minutes here. Time to give them a little bit of something, right?
The only thing that time will reveal. Every last person that's taking advantage of my human standards of kindness and care.
It's a rap verse. What do you know? Nico got back to what he built his music career off of, man. He hit him with a little rap verse. Gonna break these he's gonna break down the message a little bit more in these lyrics, right? And this song is a very, very powerful one, no pun intended. I'm familiar with the story behind it, and this came from a very real place for him. A lot of emotion and energy behind these lyrics. We're gonna meet that with a little bit of a snare roll. The kick starts working on this one too.
The only thing that time will reveal. Every last person that's taking advantage of my human standards of kindness and caring. I made them all banners because I let
Little.
them have it. I basically needed for them to be happy, but only if I was the cause.
Very little.
That and I'm lost, and I don't know what the hell's happening. Why do I lie to myself?
A little more dynamic.
I'm falling and I need the help. I can't let them
Here
see
we
what
build.
surrounds me. But
I'm gonna
it's
play
time to
this
come
through
to
for
an
ya.
end. I finally made my amends. I'm gathering all of this pain, and I'm about to take it and turn it all into some power. 'Cause now it's just something I feel.
And here we are.
Power.
Now we're cooking. Now we have a bona fide drum beat. He's banging on that open hi-hat. I actually introduced like a separate print of the acoustic guitar verb here so I could manipulate it further. It doesn't look like I did that within this particular session. But check out what we're bringing in reverb-wise to make that acoustic guitar fuller and give it more purpose within the mix. Here it comes. We'll play that with the acoustic. We'll take it away from the acoustic. Back on. Very spanky and distant and, just all types of vibes going on with that one. We keep on moving a little bit here, and then we come to a guitar solo. This guitar solo I did before we had the drums, actually. When we first had this demo, you could call it, this was a part of the original song. It was kind of acoustic and bass, and then a guitar solo once Nico's lyrics were finished. But with Sam Marandino playing the drums on this one, it just absolutely launched it. Really, really, probably one of the solos I remember the most fondly. We used maybe it was a Fender Supersonic. Tom Farkas, Tommy, it was yours. Shout out to you, Tommy. You left it around the studio for a while, and I fired it up, and we laid this down with it.
The only thing that
That's a fun one. That's where you start turning it up when you're in the car, right? You catch that in the speakers, and all of a sudden you're cranking the stereo and you look down at the speedometer. It's like, I am approaching 90 miles an hour. Holy shit. Why am I so fired up right now? The bass and the drums on that fill. Love that. Just smashing. And that's a cool moment. We're changing the chords here, right? The chord progression is going to change a little bit. I think the 9. Did we land on the 9 there? A lot of nice tension, and then let it wash out, right? Just really kiss it all goodbye. We felt that with building this song up all the way to this big point, you needed something, something as a goodbye, something as an outro. So we went back to the acoustic quietly. We did the mid-side technique on this acoustic guitar, by the way. If you're not familiar, look up the mid-side technique. It's a great way to do acoustic guitars. You will need a bidirectional microphone. Doing the chords and then another acoustic. Softly doing the melody there. Let's rewind a little bit. We'll bring the electric in there. Very tender. I love this part. I think we really, really did the end of this song justice. Yeah. Very reflective, thoughtful, holds a lot of weight. Just like the song itself. Power is definitely a very apt name for this one. Super powerful tune. I hope you'll check it out. The Coslin Wilde EP dropped recently. It's available everywhere. Coslin, thank you, brother. Much love. Always a pleasure working with you. Next time you're in town, we're going to make some awesome stuff. And Nico's actually still based in Los Angeles. He flies out here to Cleveland to work on his stuff, which I'm super grateful for. We have a lot of fun whenever he's in town. So yes, thank you for watching this video. I am Chris DiCola for Signal Flow Studios. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to drop them. Or if there's a song that you know of mine that I've done and you want to see a breakdown on it, let me know and maybe I'll get to work making a video for you. All right. Appreciate you. Take care.